Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette Truin. I work for attorney Vincent Davis. I am the host for CPS World Talk with Ms. G and the gang, and I have my gang, Miss Stacy. Hi, Stacy. And I also have my other gang here, Sarah Moore, and who else? Sarah and who?
Ginger Taylor.
Ginger. Oh, that's the Ginger. Okay, hi, Ginger. Uh-oh. Sarah, where are you? Darn it, Sarah. Sarah, where are you? Uh-oh. What's happening? You guys are using the same Wi-Fi. I think that's the problem. Right? Now I can't see anyone. Okay. Okay, I can't hear you. Here you are. I can't. Here we go.
Let me run out to a different spot.
Uh-oh. Really? You're going to do that now, Stacy?
I don't know. Well, the girls are important.
The girls are important. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Exciting things, Miss G.
Exciting things. Go do your thing, Stacy. I'm going to tell
run
people.
Real quick. All right, let me run real quick.
Okay, I'm going to tell people this, though. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to repeat it when I see you again. So, guys, I don't know if you guys remember on the show years ago when I mentioned that people.
I'm going to run to my car and just see if that helps the internet better. Where's my car keys?
I'm going to give you a timeout.
What did I do with them? Did I leave them in the bathroom?
Sarah's logged in. Sarah's here.
Here we go. Can you see it? Nope. Oh, okay. Maybe.
All right. So, guys.
Are you guys back on? Do you think it's okay?
Okay.
All right, let me try. Are we all working now?
Yeah.
Good.
Now, I need you to sit still, Stacy. Sit still, Stacy. Okay. So, again, years ago on my show, I mentioned that anyone that is collecting food stamps and cash aid and Medi-Cal from the county, from the state, they're a target of the county. So let me explain something. Title V, it should not be an incentive to place children into foster care. They basically tell the counties how to collect more federal funding, okay? LA County has a DOG book, dependency guidebook, which is a dependency guidebook, which is for social workers especially, telling them how to word the reports accordingly so the language meets criteria for the funding. Oftentimes they use Medi-Cal also. So let me tell you why Medi-Cal is important to them. When I was going through my situation years ago, the social worker asked me if I had Medi-Cal. And I said, no, I have private insurance. If you have private insurance, they cannot touch your children. If you have Medi-Cal, it's like a card, like a green card for them to get involved. I don't know why, but this was confirmed to me yesterday. So the reason I mentioned this to you guys on the shows, my shows, is because it happened to me. So I spoke from experience. And a gut feeling told me, my gut told me this has to be a setup. Right? Because the social worker was very adamant to get me to get Medi-Cal, to apply for Medi-Cal. And that was not clear to me because to them, they said it would help my case. So she made me believe it's going to help my case. So all I can tell you guys, it is extremely important that to remove yourself, somehow figure out a way to remove yourself from collecting any type of financial help from the county, because it's going to hinder you in the long run, because your children becomes a number in the system. And when your children becomes a number in the system, you become a target for the county. And that is the God honest truth. So remember that there's a lot of corruption going on Now they're targeting special types of children where they sex traffic them, abuse them, then they die, and then they send them to a facility where they take their organs, and their organs are sold in the black markets. And this is true. This is so true. So keep in mind, CPS exists for a reason. CPS doesn't exist to protect the children. CPS exists to traffic children and to remove parental rights from good parents, because we hear a lot of stories all the time where the abused children are not harmed. I mean, they're not removed by CPS and they're harmed in their home, but CPS ignores the fact that these children are being abused. But then they focus on the parents, the good mothers, and they target mothers for a reason. They target mothers because mothers are the life givers. Mothers are the closest thing to the child. When they weaken the mother, they go in for the kill, meaning the target is the children. So the mother is weakened, the mother is depressed, the mother is upset, the mother is terrified, the mother. So the mother reacts towards everything the social worker pokes at her. And then when the mother reacts, the social worker now has a say so to the judge, telling the judge the mother is crazy, look what she did. So talk less and show nothing on your face. You don't show any emotions, you don't show any happiness, you don't show any sadness, nothing. After you put that mask on, you can go home and punch the wall if you wish. But in front of them, you have to be dead. Because once they see that they have targeted your soft spot, they have power over you now. So, just words of wisdom, take it or leave it, it's up to you. But all they want to do is target you and push you to the max for you to explode and for you to look like you're the crazy one. Okay, so you're dealing with a narcissistic sociopathic system. I told you this, guys, before. They only give the children to the abuser. So if the mother is really the abuser, she will have the children, believe it or not. If the father is the abuser, they always hand the children to the father. 100% of the time. This is not a debate with me. This is 100% of the time they hand the children to the abusers. Okay? If the abuser, for example, has a sex offender living at home, guess what? The children are going to be there as well. If the abuser has someone in the home that has a record, a criminal record, they're not going to question that. So just realize that. Oftentimes they put the children in a sex offender home where they are being trafficked. They caught two couple in New York, a man and a woman, and they were sex trafficking a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. It was all over the news. So this has been going on for a very long time. And right now, America is seeing it in the Sound of Freedom movie because it exists. It always existed. It's just nobody wanted to talk about it. The media didn't want to talk about it. So they wanted to keep the people silent. Now it's out in the open. It's just more and more exposure now. And also, just to let you go, I'd let you know that I saw the Sound of Freedom twice. And the second time I went to see the movie, the theater light, I'm sorry, the projector went down, and there was no sound. And then they apologized, and it was hours and hours and hours, and the movie still didn't go up. So some theaters around you might not want to show you the movie because they got the word to shut it down, because it's bringing a lot of question right now with a lot of American people, with a lot of the American people. Okay, so I'm sorry, this is my daughter's cat that I'm about to eliminate in a few seconds. But just keep in mind, this crap exists, okay?
Miss G.
Hi, Star.
Right.
Hi.
Hi,
It's
Star.
so good to see you.
Hi, guys. How
Oh my
are
God, I miss you so much.
you? I miss you guys too.
Stacy's not with us today. I mean, Trace. I mean, oh my God,
Lindsay.
Lindsay is not with us today because
Yes,
she
I
had a
heard.
family emergency she had to attend to. That's why she's not with us today.
Okay.
So,
Miss G.
yeah.
I tell people, because I saw The Sound of Freedom as well, and the thing that I want people to think about is the fact that the movie took place in another country, but it was a movie for Americans. So if it was a movie for Americans, why didn't it detail sex trafficking in the United States? And my answer to that is because at the end of the movie, they state that at the end of the movie, they say the United States is the major hub of child sex trafficking in the world. So, of course, they would prefer it to be in the United States. But they got 5 years of obstacles and opposition from releasing a movie that detailed sex trafficking in another country. If it were to be a movie on detailing sex trafficking in the United States, it'd never get released because it's our own government that's doing the sex trafficking. There's no way they would get a movie released of this magnitude if they had 5 years of obstacles from detailing in another country, if they did it in our country. 88% of sex trafficked kids come from foster care. And again, I've referenced the June 2019 report by the U.S. Department of State that says, indeed, of child sex trafficking throughout the world, in the U.S., it happens through our foster care system. So that's why when you go watch The Sound of Freedom, in my opinion, that they detailed sex trafficking in another country, but at the end say that the United States is the major hub in the world of child sex trafficking. And that's why when you describe what's happening with the health insurance in California, that those kids are targeted, it's because, indeed, this is child sex trafficking through our government.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember it's based on a true story, as we know. Do you remember the guy that there's a lot of sound going on over there? Stop typing. Stop it. Okay. So the original, the man, what's his name? Oh my God.
Tim Ballard.
Yes, Tim Ballard said that he notified government officials, by the way, and nobody did anything about it. No one did anything about it. I would like to know where my tax dollars are going, because I pay taxes. Everyone I know pays taxes. I would like to know where my tax dollars are going. But the government wants to keep us silent, and that is the problem. That's a very huge problem. And they're not targeting the right abusers of the children. They're targeting good mothers. I mean, no offense to dads. I'm talking about dads who are good dads. No offense to you guys. But I'm talking about good mothers, good moms, dedicate themselves to their children. 100%. Why are the children being removed and put with the abuser? When the abuser is the father, that's my question. Why are the children being placed with them? That is, to me, that's a big deal to me. Why? And then later on, the child dies, or the child grows older to a teenage, and then they now say, hey, mom, dad forced us to lie. Dad forced us to lie. It's not our fault. We were young. And then the kids grow up blaming themselves, right? While the dad is out there living his life and going on pretending like nothing happened. Now, while the mother has been crying all along saying, hey, don't send my children there, please don't. But they do. So all this crap that is happening right now is the attack of the enemy. And we all know, if you guys are Christian, you know what I'm talking about. It's the enemy, period. Star has been going through so much that I have never seen a woman go through. I never experienced the trauma Star is going through until it happened to me through her. Not her, but whoever is doing it to her. This woman did nothing wrong, literally nothing wrong. They sent her daughter to where, Star, Mexico? Or the what? The
Dominican
Caribbean? Demi-
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Well,
And
the other.
even though it, but you know what I mean. I mean, I'm upset because they have like tattoos now that they forced the women to have, young women, and that tattoo is literally a tattoo of child traffickers to show that this young lady is trafficked. I sent a copy of that to a picture of that to Lindsay. I don't know if she shared it with you, Star, but Lindsay has
No,
it.
no.
And
Okay.
and
What does it look like?
I should have just showed it on the show. Damn it.
Yeah, we good for other people to see
It's
that
just
too.
it was very disturbing to me. I couldn't understand this. It doesn't make sense to me. None of it makes sense to me. None of it.
Can I add something while you're looking for that, Miss G?
Yeah.
So to piggyback off what you were saying about the tax dollars and different things that they're getting incentives, and I mean, there's $4,000 to $6,000 bonuses for each state for every child that they take out of the home and it placed with a non-family member. Additional 2,000 bonuses if there's special needs. This is just coming from your state, not alone the medical welfare company or your Medicaid company if they are, if there's special needs or if they just a regular child. So they get double, quadruple dipping in this big pot that they have. Because when I had this stuff go on with me, I have contacted my state representative. I contacted Scott Perry. I contacted the senator. I mean, some people that didn't even have anything to really do with that. And I've contacted all these people and nobody would get back to me. No, and when they did, they acted as if they couldn't do nothing because they're getting funded. They're getting paid through this. Why would they want to risk their paychecks for helping me? You know what I mean? So it's like they push it all up underneath the rug.
Right. You're right. But I think it's more than that.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
It's way more. The number is way more than
Yeah.
higher than 4,000 or whatever that you heard, or you
No,
know.
that's just the bonuses for the per month.
Oh, bonuses, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incentives, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And the incentives that like for example, a social worker can make between $90,000 to $197,000 a year. So basically, the social workers, if you notice, they drive luxury cars.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
I
luxury
did.
cars. No
Yep.
joke. We're talking about,
Lexuses.
yeah, we're talking about Mercedes, Lexus, Lamborghini. I mean, sorry, Audis, Teslas. Now I've seen a lot of social workers with Teslas now. That's insane.
But they say they're underpaid.
And they say they're underpaid. That's what gets me. It's all a facade. They say they're underpaid, but they're not really underpaid.
Right.
You understand? If you're a criminal, you're not going to say you're a criminal. You're going to make yourself a victim. And those are the people I do not entertain in my world at all. If I find out that you're playing a game, you're on my show, you're on any show, and you're playing a game and you're playing the victim card and you're not a victim, believe you and me, your show's not going to stay up. Whatever show you did that day is not going to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have found out later people that actually lie. To me, that's a big deal. I don't condone liars. I can't. You know why? Because when you've been hurt with lies, you know, from everyone around you, you come to a point in your life where you don't allow it in your life. Period. So I want to be able to trust the people that I talk to, because there's a lot of victims out there, and one can make those victims look like perpetrators.
Mm.
And it's not fair. It's not right. So speak the truth. because the truth will set your ass free. Period. It will set you free. But your lies ain't not going to take you anywhere. Because you're going to have to keep lying and lying and lying, and then you're going to deceive yourself. And this is, I want to say this before we move forward. This message is for all the abusers out there. Whether you're Christian or not, I don't care. I really don't give a damn. In Luke 17:2 says, it were better for him that a milestone were hung around his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should scandal one of these little ones. Okay? God warned us. So any of you social workers out there, court-appointed attorneys, district attorneys, foster homes, sex traffickers, whoever you are, you're going to have to face judgment. It might not happen on earth, but it will happen, and that judgment will take you nowhere but to hell. And in hell, there is no end. See, I'm not saying this. This is not me. It's not coming out of me. It's coming out of God. The Bible is real. If you guys don't believe me, look what's happening right now. So, take it as you will. I mean, I can't force you to listen to what I have to say. But keep in mind, there's a greater judgment out there. God doesn't care if you're an attorney. He doesn't care if you're a judge. He doesn't care if you're a social worker. He doesn't care if you have a Lexus or a Mercedes or a BMW. He doesn't care how much money you have in your bank account. Your day will come because you are destroying children for money. Our kids are not for sale, honey. So we will prevail and we will be victorious. It looks bad now, but I guarantee you, keep fighting, keep positive, and never give up on your children. Never give up on your children. And believe me, you will witness it yourselves. You will witness this yourselves. There was a mother that was watching my prayer show. I'm not doing my prayer show right now, but there's a mother that was watching my prayer show, and I was on Davis's show, and she wrote a message. She said, Miss G, I did everything you told me to do. And later on, it was two messages like that. And one of them called me later on and said, I got my son back. She got her son back. You know why? She started not listening to the social workers. She started no fear whatsoever. And she began literally imagining and feeling the child is home with her. The foster parents could not take care of that child for whatever reason. Went to court, and the judge told the social workers to send the child home. The social worker argued with the judge. The judge didn't care. And also, just to let you know, she prayed over the judge and over the attorney that she hired. She prayed. She didn't call them names. She literally prayed. And prayers work. It works. Because when you condition your mind, you create, right? You create what you're seeing. Remember that. You create what you are attracting. If you're attracting negative, if you're attracting chaos, confusion is going to be in your existence. It's going to exist in your world. It's going to exist with you. Take that shit out. Think positive, and look at the big picture. The big picture are your kids. I'm going to give you one last example. Okay, one last, and then we'll move on to Sarah. Okay. My father one time got me a picture like a picture like the ones my daughters did right here, and it had the moon. It had the moon, and then the stars were around because I love the universe, and he knows I love the universe. And he was pointing at the moon.
Oh my God.
What,
I'm
he
sorry.
asked me,
I'm
"What do
sorry.
I see?"
I'm
Right?
sorry.
So
There's a
I
thunderstorm
said,
here. I
"It's okay."
apologize.
Yeah,
Ooh, it
he
scared
asked me
me.
what I see. I was looking at his finger that was pointing to the moon.
Hold on,
I
guys.
didn't pay attention to the moon. I was like, "Dad, you have a cut on your finger. When did you get the cut?" At that moment, he said, "Honey, you're not looking at the moon. You're just looking at my finger." He said, "Look at the moon. That's how life is. Look at the moon. Look at the beauty at the moon, right? The beauty of the moon." But I missed all that because I was more focused on the finger. So he gave me that example in life. If you miss out the big picture, if you miss out on what is more important and you keep looking at the things that's not, then you're going to miss out on the victory. Does that make sense? I hope I'm trying to translate it from Arabic to English, so it's a little bit hard. So, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope so. Now we're gonna move on to Sarah, and we're gonna move on to Star because I know Star has something to say. Sarah, I know that you are gonna start something very big, and I would like to hear about it.
Well, hi, Miss G. Thank you. It's an honor to be on your show, and your reputation precedes you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, and it's an honor to have you, young lady. Anyone that knows Stacy, it's an honor to have Willie. Honestly,
Yes, yes. So I recently lost my son. Sorry, a second. I recently lost my son to an emergency ex parte order. Where my ex had filed for custody 3 times and lost, and then he filed emergency custody and won during a time where I was pro se without an attorney because I couldn't afford an attorney. We were in the middle of a 9-day custody trial for his fourth custody motion. So it was really the fifth motion for custody that he took custody of. But anyways, our child's only 11 years old and he's filed for custody this many times. So it's been just constant litigation abuse. So anyways, after he was taken, I had to agree to whatever the judge would allow me to agree to, which was she wouldn't put any orders in place. So I had to agree to whatever my abuser would agree to, and he would only agree to supervised visitation. So I started paying about $400 a week to see my son for 4 hours, and I have been his full-time custodial parent. And kind of like what you were saying earlier, my son has special needs, and so he takes a growth hormone shot, and if we didn't have like Medicaid, like government insurance, then we would have to pay like $4,000 a month for his growth hormone. So there's that. But so he receives Medicaid to be able to cover that. Just a side note. And then he eventually started disclosing abuse, more abuse. Before they took him in December, he claimed parental alienation because our son wouldn't visit with him, but he didn't tell the court that he had physically abused him in November, which is why he didn't want to visit with him in December. So December, he got emergency custody, and then for about the next month, I had no contact with him and I didn't see him. And then I got contact about 40 days later, approximately. And that's when I was on supervised visitation. And I did that for a few months, and he started disclosing more abuse, but it was more of the emotional and psychological. I'm being questioned for hours. I'm being questioned into the middle of the night. Don't call me, Mom. I'll get questioned. If you call me, it's just too much. It's not worth it. And then like it became really clear that he was like, Mom, I'm being questioned for 4 and 5 hours in one time into the middle of the night, and this has gone on at least, he said 50 times. And I said, David, 50 times? That's a lot. And he goes, yeah, at least 25, Mom, at least. And I said, okay. And so those were his words, right? And then he just started saying, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. And so I went to the court, and I had this supervisor proving that I'm not coaching my child to hate his dad. I'm not telling him he can't go, shouldn't go. I'm not doing anything. I have the third party supervising, verifying that I'm not alienating my child. And I go into the courtroom, filed for ex parte custody to receive him back, showed the mental health deterioration, showed that he was wanting to refuse to go to his dad's, and just all of the documentation from the supervisor's reports. So I had all of this evidence, including psychological reports. And the judge said I did not meet the burden of proof. However, when Dad got emergency custody, it was only his word that I was alienating him. There was no proof. None. So she denied my motion for custody. And then maybe like a couple visits later, he just said, I'm not going back. It's not happening. And he went to the court and asked for a pickup order because he wouldn't go home to his house. And the police came and spoke with my son. And he sat with the police officer and said, please don't take me. It's not safe. I don't want to go. And they saw that I was not keeping him from not going. It's all on the body cam footage. And the sergeant said, I'm not taking this child. I'm reporting this to CPS. He went right back to the same judge with his attorney, who's colluding. They're colluding together to do this to my son to take more money. And he says the police aren't going to pick up this child. So you need to issue another order. So she orders that the police will be in contempt if they don't fulfill this order, and that they are ordered to remove the child by whatever means necessary, including by force. And this is a child that has autism, is blind in one eye and significantly visually impaired in the other. He attends a school for the blind. He reads and writes Braille. Okay. And we're like, he's a prodigy. So he's very smart, very smart. So anyways, all of this went down. And then when the sergeant said, I'm not taking this child, I'm reporting this to CPS, she said, here's the deal. I have to file these charges for custodial interference. And I was like, whatever, do what you have to do. So of course they filed charges against me for that. And sort of like you said, I started to pray, like very different. Like I started like repenting for all the lies that I believed, the lies that all of us mothers and protective parents have believed across the world, like just against all the strongholds that have been holding us in this bondage situation, right? And I went for my criminal hearing, and the prosecutor offered me a plea deal where the charges will drop in November as long as I do 20 hours of I almost said customer service. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Community service. Yeah, there you go. And so I just I felt that shift spiritually, like going before me through my prayers. And so, just to back what you're saying, Miss G, like prayer does work. And, sometimes we're pounding and pounding, and maybe we just have to keep looking knowledge. The scriptures talk about knowledge, right? Seeking knowledge and to know, right? To know how to pray against spiritual warfare, right? That's what this is all about, really. Anyways, so the way I ended up hiking was I saw like that show with Reese Witherspoon where she went like 900 and some miles up the PC. I don't know what that even is. And I was like, that's like about how many kids are murdered. And then I was like, I should hike. And I was like, I'll do the PC. That's cool. And I was like, no, I'm going to the White House, right? Like, so um I bought a pair of walking boots and I just told people, I said, I decided I'm doing something and God put it on my heart and I'm doing it. So either you're going to help me do it safely or you're not going to talk to me at all. So choose, right? So my circle got really small and I said, this is what I'm doing and we're going to do it safely or not. So I took off walking and for me, it was my home was not a home. There was nothing there for me. Nothing was there for me. My home is where my kids are. Ginger and I both talk about that. Like, we feel like wanderers in our own homes because our children are missing from us unlawfully because we reported abuse, you know? But my case has been litigated. It's it's intense. There's over 400 and some motions that have been filed. Um, I hired an expert witness to speak on my behalf at my hearing, and the judge qualified him as an expert witness. But then when it went time for me to call him, to call my witnesses, she said that I could not call him as a witness because he was irrelevant. It was irrelevant.
Who said it was irrelevant?
The judge, before he could even testify.
Why is the witness irrelevant? Did you ask your attorney piece of crap that question?
Well, I proffered the evidence because I know that it was just a corrupt move. They didn't think I would proffer, and they tried to run the clock to keep me from proffering. I had to give up testimony to be able to proffer the evidence. So, and this custody battle, 9-day custody battle, ended in April, like April 7th, and there still hasn't been a ruling on it. And I haven't seen my son since June 3rd.
Oh my God.
And he does not want to speak to me. He's maybe called twice. One was like to tell me that he was going out of state. So he was doing it to like alert me, like, I'm going somewhere, mom, you know? And then one other time was like for a specific purpose. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
How old is your son again?
he's 11. He just turned 11 in March.
Right. So basically, what they're doing, they literally brainwashed your son. Because I speak to a lot of teenage that grew up. I mean, a lot of kids that grew up away from the system. I mean, grew up in the system, and they told me the same thing. All of them told me the same freaking thing. We never said that to the social worker. We wanted to see our mom. We wanted to see our mom. We wanted to see our
Yeah.
mom. Okay, they grew up with resentment, and that's why they're in jail. Most of
Yeah.
them. Okay?
Yeah.
Go on, Sarah.
So I'm now, I think what's propelled me over the last few years is the connections I've made with these mothers whose children have been murdered. And I have felt for a really long time that not every one of these, but some very specific stories were profiles of my ex and the behaviors he was doing. And I have truly feared for my life, to the point of getting into the Safe at Home program, filing for restraining orders, going to my police and just talking to them when nothing was going on. Like, I've tried to security cameras, like, I've done all the things to like try to keep the home safe, right? I truly am afraid for our lives. My ex matches the profiles of these men that murdered my son, and what he's doing and how he's behaving. We are both at risk of homicide by this man. It's not even a question in my mind. And I didn't go public. I haven't shared my story. I haven't talked about it because I have wondered if that would be the catalyst that made him do the act, right? And so I've been really careful about how much I share, where I share, who knows about it. But there was just this point where I said, I'm going to die if I'm silent. We're going to die if we're silent or if we're loud. So I'm going to die loud. That's how I feel. And I'm going to die. If I die, it's going to happen in a way that no more of us have to, you know, that real change is made. And so I'm just like, I'm really on a mission. Some people have been trying to come into the fold and, you know, kind of distract or do things, but like, truly, I'm like, we've got to get out there. We've got to share these stories. You
Mhm.
know, how can I get my phone to charge more so that I can continue to tell these stories? Which story should I share next? Like, it's so important for me. Like, I'm on a mission for people to know that our children are being murdered because of being exploited through the court system. Like, I want people to know that. People want to silence us. They don't
Mhm.
want us to talk about it. So,
You know what? I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
want to
Yes.
join you in that walk. But I'm old and I'm going to probably need a knee brace. And Star wants to join us in that walk as well. Could you tell us what state? I'm going to talk to Davis and see when you're going to do it, what state, and maybe I'm sure Davis is going to let me go.
yeah, if anybody would like to walk with us, there's going to be an application process to go through. You can, I'll announce where that application process is. That's
I'm
going to
not doing
protect
no
us.
damn application, Sarah. I think I'm going to get a pass on that one.
What is the application process for?
And
Just to
what
make
is the
sure you're
application
targeted?
for?
Yeah, so you know,
Okay.
we've been scammed. People have been like putting PayPal
Okay.
accounts saying they're raising money for us, and
Oh, that part. Okay.
Okay.
there's just a
Yes.
lot of stuff going on. So we're going to put together a way where people that can't can safely walk with us, and that will be um, that will be created, and you can go through that application process if you want to. But we're not going to disclose where we're going to be at this point in time
Okay.
for those reasons. So.
Okay. But wait a minute now. How far is it from the destination to the White House? How many miles?
So I'm from the Columbus area, and I started walking in it's about 475, 495, something like that, miles from Columbus to the White House. So my original vision was to walk from Columbus to the White House and protest, and then walk from the White House back to the state capital of Ohio and protest here and ask for them to do something in our state.
Okay.
But
And I
I'm probably not going to do it like that. We might stick with that plan, but we might not, just for safety reasons. We might just kind of try out something different.
have a question for you. So while you're putting the campaign and this stuff together and getting all this together, have you noticed anything happening, like a lot of issues that are setting you back at all?
No, nothing is setting us back.
Really?
As a matter of fact, like anything that really does come in to try to set us back is like is fleeing. It's like we are repellent to
The
whatever evil is
darts,
coming against us.
the
So
flying
no.
darts of the enemy is not going to harm.
Yeah, these darts can come at us, but they're not touching
Not.
us. And they'll continue to not touch us because what I am doing is what I was called to do. I know for a fact I'm supposed to
Yes.
put these boots on and walk, and
Mhm.
I'm just a willing
Yep.
vessel. So here
Yep.
I am, and I'm going, and that's it.
I'm very proud of you. I want to join this walk. I do let you know though, I am older than you guys, and I might need to pee, like probably in the woods somewhere. But you know, it might take me 5 days to be there. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just need somebody to push me because that's
I'll
a
push you, Miss
long
G.
ass rock. I know, please, Star. I need somebody to hold my hand.
I'll help you.
Maybe a wheelchair. I don't know, something. It's just wheel me there. But I do want to join. I do 100%
I,
want to be part of this. And I know Star is willing, and I know Stacy is willing. I don't know about Lindsay because she's not with us today, but she let her spirit be known earlier. Here she is.
You know, Miss G, I'm sorry. What was your name again, ma'am?
Her name is Sarah.
Sarah. Okay, hi, Sarah. Yeah, this is something that I've thought of too. That if I wouldn't have went through this, then there would have been no reason for me to have a purpose to want to do this to help these people. I mean, I wouldn't have just wanted to risk my life, you know, and my family just to do this. And I've realized throughout this time that there's a reason for this happening to me. You know, there's a reason that my children that this has gone on, and at this point, it sparked in me a fire
Yeah.
that is like no other. Like I will do whatever necessary. And I mean to tell you, they come at me every day. They come at people I talk to every day. I don't care. And I make it very well known. I do not care. You took everything from me already, you know, and it's like there's nothing else that you can take from me. And if I got to go down and do whatever I need to do to make sure that these people get held accountable, even just on a local level. And that's what I've been trying to do in my area is that I'm trying to get us all together, those who have had stories with our CYS in our area and the judges. And when they see us together, when we're doing our when we're out there protesting and stuff like that, they're scared. You can physically see it in their face. It gets a little, they're like, oh, well, what are they doing? You know, so I think that's the key to this is to getting us all together and trying to get our stories or what we can do to change this, if anything.
So, and when I'm discovering being on the road and talking to people, and I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to the people trying to make the laws, the lobbyists. The conclusion that it's really boiling down to is just it's boycott. No one show up, go to jail if you have to, but boycott the system, don't go. If you get an order to go and whatever, we can create any kind of workaround, but it's like when you walk out of a job, right? And you just say, I'm not working. What's that called?
A strike?
What?
Go on strike?
Strike. Yeah. Go on strike. That's what it's going to take. Striking the system. That's what it's really going to take. Because the money is what motivates them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. If everybody would decide to strike, then we could take it down. But it takes bravery. It takes being willing to be thrown in jail. It takes being willing to have stuff done to your family. Because it's gonna be brutal.
But
It's
wait. Stop. Now, why would you think that you have to be willing to go to jail and be stuff to be done with your family if you fear not? If you know God is with you.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm over
Nothing
that.
can harm you. So to me, that's just putting negative out there. No offense to you, Sarah, but I don't like that. You think positive.
I mentioned.
Yeah, my point is that the people that are battered have fear. We live with fear.
It's hard not to. I mean,
that's just part of what it means to be a battered person, right? Like that you are more hyper vigilant. That's the character trait. That's what I'm explaining. Not to put any negative energy out, not like that, but more like we need everybody to get to that place of bravery. It's more of like a pep talk. Like if one of us, like we all have to decide to do it.
Right.
Like that. And you know what too, Miss G, and I had a solution once, and I don't want to throw this out there. Why is it that we have to only contact CYS when there's a child in need though? Why isn't there? Because there are other agencies that can be created that would be created under the right pretenses and the right funding and the right all that, you know, and really have the right caseworkers and the right people in play that they could be another person that can be contacted when these children go in the system. Like, why does it always have to be CYS? Can it be another agency?
See, that's a good question, and I think we should talk about that after the show. The reason for that is because I've been doing a lot of thinking. There is a bikers group in LA that I'm close with, and I'm not a biker, but I was on the bike, and I felt really comfortable and very safe with them. What they do is that they advocate for children. They go with them to court. They're against child abuse. and they are an amazing group of people who look rough and tough, but they're teddy bears. And the love that they have for children is amazing. They don't hurt the parents, they actually help them. There is a lot of people out there who are doing good work to protect the children, unlike CPS, a-holes from hell,
Mm.
demons in human bodies, and they have soup in their brain. Um, they go against people like that, that is actually helping the children. So there, there are. I just don't want to say the name without their permission. Okay. Um, but let me talk to you, Star, since you came up with that right now. Maybe we can talk about it, and maybe we can share it with Sarah, and maybe I can ask my boys if they have connection with your states, right? And maybe the bikers over there will get the bikers over there, the bikers over there, and we can make it um, a
I
complete
love that.
choice. Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that idea, Miss G, because
yeah,
Sarah does need safety,
yeah,
and it would be very nice to surround her this way. I know what you're talking about. I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. And when I tell you those boys are awesome, they're awesome.
Mhm.
They're awesome. I feel safe around them, 100%. So I surround myself with good people, positive people, and people who are doing the right thing in life to protect others, the weak. And that's what we need more of. So, Star, I love you for even bringing that up. And, you know, we're going to move forward. And I want you guys to know that I did have a protest in LA. I set it up. It was only me and two other mothers that showed up, and the other people didn't show up at all. And that really hurt me. And I asked them later why, and they said because they're afraid.
Mhm.
Fear, to me, doesn't exist. I get concerned, but I don't get fear. I'm not afraid. I'll give you a true example. I don't get afraid. There was a coyote the beginning of the year outside my door at 3:45 a.m. was holding a cat from the head, a stray cat. The cat was screaming like a woman of pain.
Mm.
I took my dad's bat that I have. I beat the shit out of the coyote. So I kept beating his head. He
Mm.
dropped the cat, looked at me. I was like, motherfucker, go ahead. He saw the
Miss
bat
G,
and he took off. So the
Miss
cat
G,
I rescued. I rescued the cat. The cat
your applic
I was punctured. What?
Miss G, your application is now officially waived. You're great to walk with Sarah.
So
Bring your bat.
exactly right with the bat. So I don't like fear because the animals sense fear even. So if he sensed fear in me, I would have been butchered, right? But he did not sense fear. He was feared of me. Do you understand me? And I'm not joking. This was a white coyote. It's on my ring camera, and my neighbors couldn't believe I did that. So again, fear doesn't exist. Fear only exists when you want it to exist. Fear not, for God is with us. That's all I believe. That's all I know. And I don't want to hear that negative anymore. And I know where your heart is, Sarah. No disrespect to you, baby. But I don't like to hear that in my world. I want everyone to think positive because you create what your thoughts are. You create your words. It comes to existence. And that's how I live my life. Okay? Period. There's no discussion with me on that one.
Mm.
Okay? Sorry, Sarah, but there's no room for fear in my world. Um,
Miss G,
yeah.
when you speak of fear and going to support Sarah and talking about protesting, I went, I drove to join Sarah for her walk for a portion of it myself. And I can just tell you the whole way there, it was a 5 hour drive for me to meet up with her. And it just felt beautiful, like it's the right thing to do. I didn't have fear either. It felt beautiful. I was excited to go see her, to go do this because it's right.
It is right. And also, I'm glad Stacy put that out there as well. Sorry, I have to look at her name every time I say her name because I want to make sure I'm not calling her Lindsay like I usually do. Um, but Stacy, she's right about that. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure, but just know I am gonna have my bat with me. Period. My bat
Mm-hmm.
will take care of the job. Any animal
Amen.
attack or whatever, it will be beaten to death. All right. Um, so again, let's do this. I think we need the support. We need to support Sarah. What she's doing is amazing. I feel like what's his name? Gump. What's his name? Forrest Gump.
Yes.
I feel like saying run, Forrest, run. So let's run, Sarah, run. And I think Sarah's gonna hit the finish line. And I think what she's doing is extremely, extremely a sign from up above. Because
Brave.
God wants our voices to be out there, and He told us not to fear.
Yeah,
So
and I
let's
will
lean on
say
Him.
that the the word that I have spiritually is I'm just marching the victory across the finish line. It's already been done. So
Mhm.
it's going to be a banding together of us all together coming against the system, but it's already done, and now we get to weed out the bad people that are trying to take advantage of people while uniting with the right kind of people and bringing it down. So here we go.
Mhm. I like that. I like that. I love that. And I think we're going to get a lot of good feedback on that. And again, if you don't mind, Sarah, if you can just send me or text me, Stacy has my cell number, um, my other cell number, that Stacy knows which one I'm talking about. Just go ahead and text me your location so that way I can try to get a ticket ahead of time. Okay. Where the pickup is and all that nice stuff. I might have to kind of crash at Stacy's place. I'm not sure. I'll bring popcorn and cheese, Stacy, and maybe pickles or something like that, and tapatio sauce, and maybe chips and li- you know lemon. We'll make like a.
You make a list.
I know I'll bring it with me though. But yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I can't wait actually to meet you guys in person. And Star, I can't wait to see you. I think I'm gonna give you a huge hug and probably cry with you. Um, Star, guys, I don't know if you know her or not, but um, she's dealing with a lot. They're targeting her because her child is with a public official, and public officials knows other public officials who have blood on their hands. So when I mention blood on their hands, I'm sure you guys will figure out who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Okay, and they're behind sex traffickers, and that's why the borders are open. The reason the borders are open so wide, and the reason you guys keep hearing on the news that they're not open, is because those false medias do not want you to know the truth. So the borders are wide open. You guys can go find out yourselves if you don't believe or you doubt. There are so many children missing.
Mhm.
So many children from age 0 and up. Mothers are missing. A lot of kids are missing. So look at the cat. Did you guys see the cat? She, so let's. I love cats. I do. I love cats, but they're a lot of work. They're a lot of work. They're two brothers, and they're a pain in my butt. Um, I'm trying to let them grow so that way people say they're gonna calm down when they're older. And right now they're kittens, and kittens, I think they have a lot of energy. I think that's what it is. But eventually they're gonna calm down.
Miss
But
G, wait to
yeah,
write a book. I really can't, because I'm telling you, if we had a manual, some type of instruction beforehand, because I mean, I had nobody to figure this stuff out with me, with the cars and the people and my kids acting certain ways and everything, you just, your whole life and your whole reality is messed with, and you don't have any idea what's up and down. The justice system that you so-called loved, like trusted in, and there's some corruption, but you didn't think anything, like this. This is something that's so it just pulls every fiber of everything you.
uh-oh. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. She has good connection, but those people that her child is at, they're, like I said, a public official, very well known, and they've been targeting her phone, her internet, everything about her emails. Um, if she finds a place to live, they make sure she gets evicted for no reason. She's being followed because she's speaking out loud, and they don't want her to speak out loud. So, with that being said, she's not afraid. She's a mother. A mother will never stop fighting for her children. I kid you not. A mother is like, she has so much strength that a mother doesn't even know she has, to keep going and fighting for her children. And Star possesses that strength, and she will never stop. And I pray that her child is listening to this. I pray to God somehow Star's child is listening to this. And just to let you know, you have an amazing mom that I personally want to meet in person, that I'm proud of, so proud of her, because she doesn't care about any target against her. All she cares about is protecting you, her child. That's all she cared about. So I just want you to know your mom will never give up on you. Unfortunately, I cannot mention your name, but can you give me her first initial, Star?
P.
P and what else?
PGW.
PGW. And I am um, I am claiming victory over your mother and every mother out there. And no weapon formed against them will ever prosper. Never. It will never prosper. Because the enemy wants to show us fear, but we're not going to be afraid. And fear is not from God. Remember that.
And I had to
Now,
make it too.
uh-huh.
I had to make a choice. And a lot of times there's a lot of people who said, sorry, you got to find out how far you're willing to go, because this isn't going to get any easier. The more you step out, the more evidence you prove, the more things you show, the more fight you have, the worse it's going to get. And honestly, you have to answer that question. You really do. And if you got a family and you got other kids and you got other situations, and you might not, this might not be for you, but I like Sarah, this is my mission. This is my goal. And this is what I'm going to do.
Yep, we're going to join her. I like Sarah a lot. And we're going to join her. I like what she stands for. Um, we're going to join her. But I do
She's
want
a
to
beautiful, sweet person, and I
She
can see
does.
that.
I
I
know.
know
That's
it's
what
her.
shocks me. I look at you guys and I look at myself. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, a prostitute in freaking downtown LA was raided. It was a motel raided. The 3-year-old watching her mom sleep with different men for money, and she got her child back.
Mm.
So I don't get that, America. Shame on you, and may God have mercy on your wicked, dark soul.
Very
Because,
well said.
yeah, Because what you guys are doing to mothers and children, wow.
Your time's coming.
The time is coming and y'all gonna be like, "Psh, yeah, maybe my name might pop in your head when you're in torment."
Mm. Mm.
And Jesus too, obviously, absolutely. Number one, you're gonna wish you actually believed. You're gonna wish you actually did your research. You're gonna wish you repented from this huge sin against you. And I blame all Americans because nobody's standing up for what is right. And I want to say one thing to all you Americans out there that is protesting for Britney Spears. Never forget that protest. And you protest for other things that, like the writers, the writers, producers, stars not getting enough pay and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Our children, the American children, you guys are not going to have producers in the long run because most of them are going to be in jail.
Mm.
Our future is in jeopardy. They're in jeopardy. They're in danger. So when I see you guys out there protesting to get more money with Amazon and all this, where are the protests for the children? I mean, after seeing The Sound of Freedom, I would think you guys kind of like put two and two together. Two and two together. And kind of figure out all these mothers that you guys think are bad moms. They're not bad moms. The bad moms have their kids and they end up being killed by the boyfriend. Those are the bad moms.
They use that against me with my domestic violence from my daughter's father. I was told that it was my fault that I was there and that it went on me just as much as it did.
Miss G, the girls
Yes.
have done a lot of walking and they're hungry, so we all gotta go out for dinner. If that's okay.
All right. I want to show that picture real quick of that tattoo. That
Okay.
picture was real quick. I sent it to a friend of mine and he told me this is a tattoo that what they do is young ladies, be careful who you date. Okay. When you have a man or a boyfriend or whatever, be careful where they take you, honey, because what they do is they drug you.
Oh,
And they drug you with some bad drugs. Your brain, right, cannot handle it. And then they rape you several times and then use you for sex traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're gone, literally gone minded, they stick a tattoo on you when you become a target for sex, meaning you've been
branded.
Yeah, branded. There's another word of that. I need you guys to look at that, and I want the producer to show it. So, Grace, can you please show the picture real quick? This is it.
What is it?
A good friend of mine went through that with her own daughter, and she's never seen that tattoo before. But she felt as a mother is sex trafficked, like tattoo.
Mm.
And I sent it to a very good friend of mine who does a lot of outside work to find children who are sex trafficked. And he said that is a sex trafficking tattoo. And that is a target tattoo. Okay. So again, be careful out there. I suggest don't go out with anyone. Young ladies, focus on school. Be home. Don't have your friends come first before your mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry about your friends because the older you get, you're going to understand how to make friends with you wisely, not be in quick to think that they're for you. They're not for you. Friends will only be your friend for a brief minute. They'll either destroy your life or they will be your by your side forever. Okay? So you have to be able to distinguish between the two. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. All right.
Can you talk to me then?
I'm sorry, what?
Can I call you after the
Sure, call me. But call me on my the 310-462-5062. My Vonage is not, I mean, my work phone is not working for some reason.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
All right. Thank you guys for joining me. And Sarah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye. See you
Bye.
tomorrow.